this mic local. Let's see what's going on here. How are you good people today? Welcome to your chess. What is this? Your chess what? Never mind. Let me just introduce myself. I'm Onyx Chess. My name is Stefan. I hail from Canada. And I say greetings to all of you chess fans out there here today. Right now we got a little bit of a reopus going on. We got this knight prosecuting this pawn on e4. It's not typical that people take it. After rook to e1, things get caught up in the middle. Oftentimes the bishop is pushed back, but if it's not, I wonder if that means something, or if that means very little. I'm certainly not in a frame of mind to play my best chess at this point in time, although I have said that before and I have been pleasantly surprised. I'm sure I'm not the only one whose chess is a little bit touch and go. Let me get something to drink, get these waters circulating, and as Dogfish would hear things in his turn, I'll be right back. That should help. That can't hurt. Can't possibly hurt. Here we are now. Oh. Oh, wow. See, not this bishop here touching f2. I think we're okay to use the rook. As well, the knight might want to migrate there anyway. So, again, at least we're, killing two birds with one stone, which is at least some level of competency, so long as your moves are doing plural things. It can't be all bad. So hopefully there's some kind of a trick here where it's a problem that this bishop is caught. I do like the idea of a Greek gift here. Without the knight on f6, they have been known to work time to time. Of course, I suppose just push. Yeah, I'm not liking how I've opened this game. Why did I not think that this would be a problem? I don't know. We're not playing our best right now, but who knows? Might get started. We'll see. At least my bishops have good scope aimed at the castle, but that's just about the only feature of this position that I think White can really call as being conclusively any kind of advantage. We do get something from the push. We do. We get a slow knight. We get a knight that is impeded. That might be the only thing the doctor ordered right now, because right about now, I don't even know if I can manage this position. Takes, takes, takes. Just a beautiful knight outpost there, dead in the center of the board. Even if we kick it, it's probably... well, the diagonal is closed for the time being, but kick it. We do have this pinned bishop, which can keep it in the middle when this queen ends up here. It's not able to castle, it's just gonna... So are we talking about a push? I don't know. I just want my bishop out so I can get my knight out. I'm down a pawn already. Ay, 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 ay. See, at least if the bishop had popped back here, then there would be chances against this pawn. But as it is... So what about here? Goes there, and it's just a solid looking side to contend with. Okay, so no, this is less fun. But we do have this takes, kicks, push, push. That's something. That is actually something. Let's go for it. Probably pawn takes is better, but the more obvious move might be knight takes, and that's what we're hoping on. A little bit of hope chess here. Pawn takes isn't super easy either, because then we have queen. Testing this, testing this, testing this. Get our pawn back, maybe. We might not even have to give up a bishop to do it. Very good. Let's just go for it. See, and so long as this bishop can't easily. So once this pushes, this bishop might. But it can't, it's pinned. So this pushes castles. Push again, bishop takes. Queen takes, testing the mate. Comes this or this. It's tenderized. It's at least tenderized. I'm not sure if that's. I'd much rather have my knight in the game, get my rook set up, but I'm just feeling a little bit urgent here. I suppose another idea is Queen d3. Just touch the mate. Sometimes threatening mates can avail tactics that one doesn't otherwise see. But yeah. Oh wow. I did not even look at this. So let's look at it now. I wonder if it just helps. It feels like it just helps a little bit, right? Maybe just queen here. I suppose bishop here. No, uses that. Yeah, because this is pinned, man. Can hit here. The only exception is this push. And then we're here in the middle, ready to keep the king honest in the center. This is it. It's something. It's not nothing. It's something. I'd prefer not to have plundered a pawn, but you know, at least if you can get some kind of counterplay, it makes one feel better about the state of affairs, you know? And it's nice, not only is it doubled here, but so this is something, man. Castling immediately ain't gonna work because that's straight into a mate. It seems almost forced because every other variation, this queen's just going to hit that pawn. And yeah, like this king can't castle in the near term. Might be a check there, and even a check there then. But then bishop comes flying back to save the day. See, the other option too is after this knight moves, push the pawn, keep the bishop off sides. Maybe we can snaffle it up somehow. I don't know. It's, things to look at. Taking the bishop outside the pawn chain is sort of the thing to ask in this kinds of a slab things. What do you want to do with your bishop? Because this is probably going to end up here. This is probably going to end up here. Do you want your bishop back here doing a job defending the b7 pawn or active? In this case, I chose active, but there's certainly a very good case for leaving that bishop at home to protect that b7 pawn. We might see why that is often much advised, but stay tuned. We'll just play through here and see how this shakes out. If we push this pawn, I think this knight back might task the bishop here a little bit. So maybe Um, they're going to put a pawn here, here. I don't know. I kind of want it here. Why? Well, if you put it here, then this push will give this bishop wicked scope on these kinds of weaknesses. And that's often problemsome. So I think we'll play the knight here and just easy. And we won't be scared to use the queen to do the job that is often so important for that bishop. I mean, once this pawn starts pushing, this queen starts coming out. It's just it can be a lot to handle, a lot to manage sometimes. So just keep an eye out for that. Rook's probably not so much advised because the bishop can eject that rook. A little bit happy to see this not pushed yet, so this fork isn't available, and I think we push here. Although knight to f6 isn't terrible either. Starts our king. So after this, because you know this is coming. Why not? It's okay, we're not concerned with this because we'll just recapture. This pawn's coming here anyway. We're not concerned about checks. This pawn might push, but not sure. Pawn here. If we see bishop develop here, maybe we could consider the trade. We take a bad pawn structure, but is it? Like, what a blessing to never have to worry about that knight popping in there. Remember, dark square bishops are off, so this pawn is extra safe. Plus, it's buried behind two central pawns, so safe from their rooks, but not from mine. Mine can defend, so undermining a pawn after a trade here is going to be almost impossible. This is a nice static position. That said, that's still a nice bishop. Sometimes it ends up on that diagonal, testing the strength of this castle. In fact, if white leaves things, let's say white castles here is an idea even to just push this pawn. If takes, knight goes there, and there's maybe a fun little home here where these Siamese bishops can look after each other. Planted in the middle of the board. Of course, the complication there would be this bishop and what to do about it probably comes back. Now it's a different story though. If white is castled there already, then we're not worried about backing up, spawn pushing. Remember the knights here. Like was the case here. Back, pawn push. And that does win the bishop. But that's a lot to do. And black usually hangs on. In balance would be bishops against knights, but it's not a So of course the issue with taking this pawn is it avails white of just coming forward with a very strong center. So pawn takes knight here. We're not going to move pawns to try to keep that. It's just, it all gets undermined if we go this way. This happens. So that when this goes, this takes. Mind you, we do have. We might be able to keep this actually. Usually these pieces are still here often. Oftentimes this bishop is still here. But if it's not, then can't we hang on to this rather easily? Oh no, okay, so this goes here. Takes. Here. 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 So bishop can't take this pawn because just there, takes, there, takes. I think let's just give our bishop some opportunity, some scope. And I like defending it this way, and I think that's incorrect. Because in the later stages of the game, this pawn, it's too much. It causes a backwards pawn here. If it's attempted to be stopped with like push whatever, there's a pawn here. Yeah, this is how white can often undermine these pawns. So definitely when you're playing in these d4, c4 structures, especially with the fianchetto bishop, it can be really tough to keep the queen side together. It can be really tough for black. So a little bit of concern there. Pawn takes. Of course, I don't have to take back with a pawn. I could consider taking back with my knight, but then comes e4. Knight, I'm not sure where, maybe back here. And we could play with some kind of a Caro-Kann structure. I don't like the space in position, but at least the queen side would be well managed. This is a completely different scenario than having everything in attack mode and then all of this coming out to just harangue my pawns, as can often be the case in these kinds of scenarios, kinds of positions. I'm not a fan. This move, I'm not a fan. No, I'm certainly not a fan. Something tells me this isn't it. This isn't it. This doesn't look right. I like this. I like taking the space to center. I like how it can be just, you know, cemented. But something tells me this isn't quite optimal. Now, I can't play this. I don't think we would have the check here. So here's the idea. We can't play this because of the fork, right? There would be an intermezzo check, so nothing can block because then it all comes off. And we're free, scot-free. But this check. And then what about just say here? That's a big problem. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. So We'll have to put our knight somewhere more appropriate. Now that means either here to come back out here, here to come back out here. I don't know where that knight's going there, or just back here and maybe here or something. I don't know, but I don't like this because pawn takes, bishop takes, and what do we got there? Is he? Pawn takes. At least we have this. Not sure what's going on. Not sure. I suppose the play is this. Bishop takes, pop that pawn forward, I suppose. Not to mention the shot here. What if queen takes, pop the pawn forward? Same difference. It would be one thing if she could go back here, then fork, but no, I think if queen takes, boom, maybe she goes here, maybe here. Either way, I don't think we're concerned. So what if we do nothing, use that tempo for something else? If we do this, pawn takes, check. King takes in the middle. That's something. That's not nothing. Oh, no, 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 no. That's no good. No, but this is covered. Hang on a sec. So knight takes. Knight takes, queen check. Stopping. Check. Check. Okay, so it's gonna fall. Okay, yeah. Maybe just we take it easy, like this and like that. Another option after the check would be just knight back, or no, I guess not. Yeah. Okay. I think White's probably looking at, yeah, one of those moves. Um, maybe here was better. Maybe. Maybe. And I make the point because this could be a good way to sock it to his light square defender, albeit at the cost of my own. Seems kind of. But at the end of these variations, I mean, in these variations, there's this fork, right? And a double attacked pawn in the center. So I'm not sure what that means exactly. Can't do it now because this tests. And we have a loose. I think just back. I mean, we could try to keep it like a poke check. A poke check bishop, but that's going to get kicked back anyway. And then our castle is just going to be a little bit weaker. And I think this is where we're castling because this is a monster bishop. The idea of castling this way doesn't really appeal. I think just bishop back. If castles, which is probably the move, then we should look at this. If not, then we have the immediate check, winning the pawn back in the center. And black is even Steven. And here I am, like, giving up a pawn again for no good reason. Like a weirdo. It's a weird thing to do, man. It's not what we do. Chess players out here. We don't give up pawns like that. Stop it. You stop it. All right, now. I do like the feature of immediate attacks. That just tells me bishop there. Of course, knight to the rim could be a challenge. As if to say, push the pawn first so we can keep it. Little tiny bit awkward if I'm being forthright here. Little tiny bit awkward. Of course, there's this development too. Makes the rook a little bit tough to. But it's. We do have an attack there. Not sure what it means. It means I take the attacker off of here, but I'm pretty sure that this pawn's coming this way anyway. Probably. Yeah. So this pin's readying this, but I'm not sure how strong. I guess it's nice to have that there. The issue is this, though. What happens when bishop here? I suppose now we can play the bishop because it's maybe this happens. Pawn can't take immediately, but the queen could. No, queen couldn't. Yeah, queen could. Takes back, and now this pawn is protected. We've got our counter c3 knight pawn here on c6. Maybe test it. Suppose there's this, but then this, and maybe this. Especially since there's no push to discover. And then win my prize. aside from that would be the immediate. And that could be a problem to open up diagonals with all of my diagonal strikers still on the board. I think test it, because I don't want this diagonal. Anyway. This might be something to keep the bishop honest, but then just... just test. Declare your intentions, kind of a move. Okay. So I think we're playing for our bishops to be very strong now. That is probably the goal. This knight goes where from there? Nowhere. What else? It would be nice to do this, but then this bishop hangs. We can slow the castle, but not really. It's just going to trade off. This is kind of nice here because it gets this started. It's not nothing. This is already extended, so if you can touch those pawns, that's nothing to snark at. Also, with these pawns, I guess the bishop would still have this diagonal. That's a convincing diagonal. And by the way, the threat here is probably just f5 immediately. So I think we might have to actually play g6. Yeah, well spotted. If nothing else, I found g6 because yeah, I didn't even think about it because that would be a nuisance, man. Some kind of attack out of this. Here, here, here. Because what happens if this is allowed? That's porous. That is very porous. At least it's some kind of counterplay, right? I'm not looking forward to what happens when this knight can just walk in, though. So an idea might... No, it doesn't work. Maybe with this first. If queen goes offline, then we have that. But she might go where here? Then what? Then we would have bishop here. That looks like a lot of fun. That wins the bishop. So after this, she might go there. We don't have this because just knight takes. She might go there. We would have this knight here. And that would pretty much might go back here, but then comes... Yeah, so we can control this, take some space, control the fifth or fourth. Play this in the name of... Just because this is nasty. This knight can't be allowed to walk in like this. Yikes. At the same time, I don't want to play against these bishops either, though. Especially this guy. That's lethal. Lethal. That's a lethal bishop, man. So even if queen goes back here and bishop comes out, pins the knight. I suppose there would be still attacks if this takes, bishop takes, then rook here. I can only slow this knight down for one move, but this bishop's no longer valuable on this diagonal whatsoever, so it's coming out. Period. Down a pawn, I don't want to drop my bishops, but fork. We'll offer the trade, and if takes, then at least we'll have bishops and targets and diagonals. And if doesn't take, then we have this fork I was talking about. It's a good move because knight here takes the pawn and then the defender here falls, so that's actually a good move. We're going to play this anyway. Bishop has to go back. If forward we have this. Then it goes back. Then we win the pawn. Queen. Queen. It's not much of a win, but the bishop's back. Then we have this here. Bishop here, here. Can we just back it up? Pawn's loose. Knight d5, pawn takes. Queen takes, knight's loose, but this comes with a threat against the queen. I suppose it's a check here, but bishop counters. This is protected. And there's a fork here. If takes it, that just loses the queen. Guess takes here, could take there then though. And still we're playing against all of this alongside a loose pawn. So we might see knight here, but that's a lot of material. Yeah, I don't think we'll see that. We're gonna leave the pawn alone, I think, and just fork this queen. And she might get bounced around here a little bit too, by the way. Because where's she gonna go, right? Like if she goes here, she gets bounced again. She can't go here. She can go here. So now with some material edge, now I think we snap off that knight. Just because now it's getting different. Now we're taking this back and this bishop, who knows what, right? That might be a thing. We'll have to see how it shakes out, I suppose. No checks on the diagonals. They are well adjusted for. No checks on the file. Safe-ish king, and I don't think we're castling there anymore, though. That doesn't look like that works very well. And keep in mind, this bishop might be a proper ping, because we push here, it goes there. No castle, so it's not over. It's not over. Claim my prize. Really want this queen offline. Can force the trade of that bishop. I might do that. But yeah, this comes here immediately, so that's to be noted. Hello, guest. Welcome. Welcome here. Hello from Canada. Let me turn some lights on so that we can see each other a little bit better. Welcome back, Taco Bell. Got a tense position here. I'm not sure how to handle this. I might take a second to think about this. But not much more than that. Maybe I am going to castle here. I don't know. This is crazy. Yeah, now that we've got the material advantage, let's... this makes me nervous. This makes me nervous because after this trades, knight can play here or here. I'm not sure exactly what that looks like. But at least I'll have my castle. And I'll have one of those brother bishops off the boards. That should really help things a lot. But yeah, how are you doing today, Taco Bell? I haven't seen you in a minute. How are things in Taco Bell is life world? Any new combos at Taco Bell that I should look at? I remember they used to have something that was called the Chicken Burrito Supreme. Let me tell you, man. Oh, and they had it right next, like KFC Taco Bell is like the same restaurant, and they would eat it with like these nice, I don't know, like really good chicken quality. I was like, oh, that is tasty, man. Hello, hello. Welcome here, multi-waste learning chess. How are we today? Welcome to my humble abode. Thank you for stopping in. I hope that you're having a good day. And we're not obliged to take, but then the bishop still stops that irritating issue. This is coming. Yikes. All right, I guess we'll take. I don't know. Now this check hits all the way different after queen takes. So we'll have to. Yeah, I appreciate you. I don't understand how people just spam that all day long. Because like they just get reported and banned like immediately. So what's the point? Hmm. Multi ways learning chess. I like it, man. Cool name. Let's see if I can open up Twitch here. Just follow you real quick. All chess fans are welcome. And then some. Oh, that's on YouTube. Cool. Or Kick, I'm not sure. I'll have to look. I am running out of squares. What, only move? Just about right. Maybe just bishop back here was okay too. And then I guess knight takes, queen takes. That's a lot of pawns. Mamma mia. Fight for the file. How long have you been playing chess for? Multi chess, multi learning. Was it multi ways of learning? How long have you been playing chess multi ways? And we can, and I think we would, and we will probably just test, at least back up the queen a bit, right? I mean, here, like, the pawn can't take because we'll take this and undermine defense of that. Nice dark squares to cool out and get safe from this bishop from attacking there. And maybe even other places, maybe even everywhere. Now it's not good to attack, but on the chessboard it's okay. It's better to be kind to one another. Definitely. Black is up 1 point. A little bit of material advantage here, but with bishops of the same color, don't be surprised if this ends up in a decisive conclusion. To anybody that was alive in the 80s hearing this flute anthem here is, I don't know, this, I don't know what I'm thinking of. Maybe MASH? I wonder if I'm thinking about MASH, but it's really nostalgic. Nice sounds. And then if we want to be cruel, what we could do is actually play this pawn here. And if white considers that this is a free pawn, we can say check. Oh no, then just rook takes. That doesn't work. Duh. Doesn't quite work. Okay, I guess we test. Test away. I see he wants to plant that there, but then this is gonna have trouble pushing. King's on a dark square, light squared bishop. Nothing on the diagonal. It looks really, really dangerous, but if this pushes, then I feel a lot safer. If this pushes, that's a little bit different. Let's see what white comes up with. And like, keep in mind too, there's always this issue of the fork and you know, hitting this pawn. Pawn takes, queen takes, right? Like, white probably doesn't want to trade. Okay. Takes, fixes those pawns. Be back here even. At least this has some influence and slows the pawn, but this rook's only going to go back there anyway. Let's just zoom straight back, I think. Careful not to get it trapped in there somehow. That could happen. That could happen. My idea was actually to attack this pawn, but that pawn I don't think will ever be attacked. So maybe this is a misplay, a misstep. But at least we're getting active. There'll be plenty of play on this file. Lots of back and forths, lots of multi-targets. Let's just take the file, I suppose, right? Yeah, this was definitely the move. But this is a very good square for this rook as well, right? Far from the knight and dark square for the bishops. Then maybe we can get doubled there and Very tough to find. That was a very good find. Very good find. Certainly. But there's still infiltration, though. There's still infiltration. And this doesn't happen because of this second rook, right? Check, and then what? Not sure. I like this bishop defending against these pushes. Just kind of helping out, hanging out, helping out. So here we have a pawn. Maybe that's worth it, right? I'm not going to take it. It can't push because that falls. I'd probably rather have this one anyway. No, I'm not going to take it immediately. I'm actually going to just activate my next rook. And then we have some reason to think maybe the tides are turning. But then again, I'm not sure because rook comes back to protect this. I would still have that defense, right? Dark square. Protected. Knights impeded. This can't push easily because then the pawns break. This can push, but then it's not terrible, I guess. Lots of fun. His pawn isn't as safe as it might look. Rook comes here. Bishop goes b1. Rook moves, takes. Ooh, this knight back attack. Watch out for those back attack guys. That's difficult, but you know, as I look here, even just this is now starting to test this bishop. He'll have to decide if he's gonna protect this pawn or that pawn, because oh, good move, okay. Oh, except for this. Nah, that's covered still. Okay. I guess we're going in here. Just watch out for this. You know, you gotta be careful of these trades. You know, rook takes, and I was saying, so, you know, this king's on this square. It's like bang, check. I lost the game. That happens sometimes. Don't let those things get you down. Just play your game. You'll be all right. Keep calm. Keep playing. This knight needs to be careful. It can quite easily trap itself in there, but I think he'll be all right. I think that knight will be okay. I think it'll find a way. But I like all of this on dark squares. I like this knight not being able to hit this pawn. I like this knight being a million squares away. I like that the only attacking square is covered. I like a lot of things about this feature, this position here. I like that this is a dark square and it's not as safe as it looks because this rook can drop back and hit its defender. I was wondering about that. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Good time for luft. But I don't know how much luft that is, right? Because knight, there's still that mate threat. Okay, good. I'm glad. Glad the way that was recaptured. I almost want to go here, but that's just... Gotta do something offensive. This is like my last offensive move before this gets real active on my position. Or even push. I suppose it wasn't such a big panic. Just bishop back. Just bishop back closes files. Probably will see this. Yeah, it's no big panic. Check. Yeah, there should be a shot after this actually. King back. Bishop here. And the idea is rook here. And the king can't defend there. It has to defend there. And then comes this one. Forcing off material, at least. Strong domination of the knight. There's no way out. Even the bishop. Could we call that dominated? Maybe. Only square, pretty much. Kind of thing. I don't know. Not a pro yet. Not just yet. We have a check, but I'm not sure how much that does. I'm more curious now in this, and check. Probably just a block. But this has to fall apart. I don't like that this knight gets this at the end of that variation, so maybe we could. Nope, then this is loose. So what about a check here first? What does that do? Oh, I see an interesting combo here. If rook blocks, and this rook pops back up here, right? Watch this. See, sometimes you can kind of finesse and tease and massage positions and things fall apart a bit. You don't always have to go straight for the trade. What about this, right? Where's that bishop go? I guess here, right? And then we have this. And that is looking claustrophobic. And we keep our defense of this pawn. And maybe we're ready to just, I mean, you could probably just rocket that up the board anyway, probably. But I think I like this. No check squares. There is this, but I don't think that's enough. And of course the threat is there. And it can't be blocked because that's just triple attacked. Again, no checks, but that would be deadly. Keep in mind, we are in a mate threat. We have back rank threats here. This king needs to be very careful. And there's no blocking it because this is all covered by the knight and the pawn, right? And there's no way out here either. His pawn's blocking it. Even if it wasn't, gotta be careful. And even if none of that was true, hey, hit that pawn, sack it, and then roll the pawns. So it's not over, but this needs to be a finishing attack. Like, if white finds something good here. Okay, yeah, it looked like it. It looked like it was just about KO. I think maybe just defend the bishop, right? What happens then? Oh, you know what? I suppose here. And then this would have to go here. This goes here. At least it's chances, but yeah, no, it's bishop can never move. We'll just trade real quick. Quick like a bunny, man. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the vibe today. Myself and Dogwood Fish are typically very equal, and we're usually mid 2000s, but we've both now dropped below 1900. Like, this is the first time I ever saw him under 2000 in ever. And it's the first time I've been under 2000 since I think January. So I don't know what it is in the air, but it's weird. It seems like it affects all chess players. I don't know. And it's not the first time I've noticed it, man. It's a I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't understand it. I just don't fully understand it. It's just something in the air, Dogwood Fish. This is the first time I've been under 2000 since January. It's the first time he's been under 2000 since when? Same thing since January. Wow. Wow. Oh, I dipped. March, I dipped one time. Very interesting how that works. hello and have fun. That is the main thing. If we're not having fun, what are we even doing out here? Am I right? Am I right? Of course I'm right about that. Now, if I can be right about some chess moves, maybe, you know, knock down a quick win here. I don't know. Was that fun? I suppose that's the main thing. That's what I just said. Oh, 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 you missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Gotta be faster. Gotta be faster than that. So we'll put up another seek. In fact, let's go 960. Why not? I think I might be the only one here to vote, so let's go for it. I should set the title 960, but chess is chess, and nothing's more chess than 960. I'm gonna switch windows so I get a notification if somebody joins this, and I'm gonna get a plate of food going. Call it a pause, call it a break. Good time to go call your mom or give her a hug if she's in the next room. I'll be right back. Oh, moms are the best, man. I wonder if it's the phase of the moon causing people to play weird. Waxing crescent. So, what was the phase of the moon when I dipped in March? Right here. March 17th. What was the phase of the moon March 17th, 2025? Waning gibbous. All right. Waxing crescent and waning gibbous, I guess, is kind of like the same thing, kind of. Like, except on the other side, I think. Look here. Yeah. Waxing crescent, waning gibbous. That's that 3/4 business. Interesting. Very interesting. I wonder if I could get a bigger sample. Let me study my dips while we wait for someone to. Here's a good dip to study right here. This one. December 31st. Waxing crescent. Wow. That's wild. So that's what, 3 for 3? But still, I mean, that's, very broad. Let me look at another one. Here's a good one. Here's a really good one. August 21st. Winning gibbous. Oh, wow. Wow, that's... All right, I don't know. I'm not going to do more. But that's something. Show me the phase of the moon where everyone treats everyone well and then lock it in place, man. No excuses. The garage. Joined two days ago. I often give these ones chances. But that's straight to 2096, man. I mean, 8 months ago, same problem. I don't know. I'll just rather wait for a 960. Maybe this checks out. Maybe this checks out. Nonetheless, 960 won't play itself, so probably makes good sense to keep that seek up there. Let's get some hydration going on here. That can't be a bad idea. We'll be back momentarily. And here we are, back live and in full effect. Welcome back, chess fans. We got E4 happening here. I don't know why it does this. It must be a different window somewhere, some way, somehow. There we go. I want to do something different this time, but I don't know what. I'm going to save this. Let's see if we can put this knight out a little bit later. Now, I like this, but then this bishop just comes here, and it's just a sloppy trade game. You know what? I'm feeling sporting. Oh, wow, you never see this. You never see this. This is almost unheard of. Wow. Not sure what's going on, but I'm nervous that my opponent doesn't seem at all put off. Not even a little bit. How are we going to defend this? If we go with the knight, this bishop almost guaranteed ends up there. Might not be the worst thing. What else we got going on here? We got this going on. How safe is this? Very, very, very safe. This knight can never chastise that pawn. Here, no checks, just block. Snug as bug in a rug. Even if something like, yeah, no, that's, wow. I think just brick house the center then. Just brick house. Now the knight comes out after. I forget what this is called. Center counters something. Counters something. Maybe one day soon. I'll have a channel big enough I can just call out trivia and get the answers I'm looking for. And just look back to chat. How cool would that be? Pretty cool, man. $5 the first person tells me the name of this opening. That'd be awesome. So here the threat is pawn push as if takes. There's a check here. So we want to make that a bit tough. Tough for black magic. We can do that a couple different ways. We could like push this where if this takes, we have this intermezzo here. And that would actually do the job very well. I mean, this bishop's not developing this way, at least, right? Not now. Not me, not now. Knight has defense. I think it's a good move. What a way to really, you know, bust that queen's chops, right? It's got no checks here. And we can destroy the castle after we're finished. With that said, our pawns get mashed as well. So bishop. Only moves are here and here. Bishop takes. Nope, bishop can't take because then we win a rook as well. So we continue with our plan. We've done our blunder check. We found the problem with what we thought was an issue. We looked at it and saw it wasn't. So now we're going to go ahead like this. king has to take. And that's going to be our tempo to back our bishop back off. And we just take that advantage and then regroup. As I said, we got a nice brick in the middle. Even if the bishop back knight here, we might just allow that trade. This bishop would be effectively toothless. Effectively toothless. So with that in mind, then let's just start after our target, I suppose. I don't know. What do you guys think? No, don't answer. I don't take suggestions from chat. I play legitimate chess. I make my own moves for my own reasons. I think very deeply. Imagine another check there with the queen. Oh, never mind. Sounded better in the moment. Yeah, this is just going back here. It's not going anywhere else. That or this. But then comes this. Then comes that. Or straight that. Maybe just straight that. Maybe just straight that. That helps take the queen offline in support of this pawn push, I suppose. I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe we want to outpost a knight there. Or go this way. Then that would beg this. It looks a little bit silly. This, on the other hand, has potential, right? That's a lot of... Yeah, we can put a whole army on this pawn. So that's what I think we're going to do. That's not a problem, though. Not really. But that's still not a problem. It's just tucks back in there, man. We're golden, man. Just get developed and we're set. All set. This, we can even just push and clean this pawn up all by itself. It's by its lonesome. It's not going to be an issue. So here maybe just takes... If this could have gone like this, that's a different story, but I'm not sure how I can make that happen. So about takes, knight, what about push? There's a little bit of infiltration for black, but this is just going to keep this, this rook is just out of the way for a long time. That's a huge advantage. On top of it, we have a material. We have a material advantage as well, so I think we're okay. But yeah, there's no way to keep my pawns from goofy. Like, I have to take that or my pawns get just a little bit strange, I think. And I don't like to help my opponent with moves like that. So let me look one more time. Even if push takes push, it's just going to take back Desperado. So it's push takes, that's not, push takes. That's kind of fun, but I feel like black can work around that easier than I just push like this. These pawns, they can move, they're free to move, but then it just gets weaker and weaker and weaker. So I think we have to take here. We're all set, we're okay. So I guess this bishop comes, no. Bishop, that's a knight. I think this is the move. I think this is the move because bishop takes, knight takes, and this pawn doesn't fall. so easily. Options be take. Just take the bishop. Take a one end game. There's nothing wrong with that either. People play that way sometimes. That's okay to do. I'd rather just come with the tempo. I'm still eyeballing the square, but that knight has good defense, and this is just going to kick it back to where I'm not sure. I want to dogpile on this pawn, though, and that involves this knight going here and that knight going there. So I think we take then. Let's just take. Or like this. And this comes here. Yeah, I think we're happy with that, aren't we? Just by virtue that this bishop is... I mean, at this point, I almost want to push that, to be honest with you. Scoot out that way. And that, again, speaks to this. Yeah, I like that. Rook's on there. Rook's online. What to do? If I push, that's almost guaranteed, but there's an intermezzo here. Check. This pawn goes here. Bishop goes here. This knight comes out here. What then? Sort of like that. I suppose there's knight here. Just looking to perch. It's not bad either. It's actually convincing. Long think, wrong think, guys. Careful now. I think I'm just going to castle this way. Let's put the knight out. Nope. Queen here, if anything. This goes there. This goes there. Good enough. Black's only down a pawn, but it really feels like black is down a lot more than a pawn. But they're not. They have good activity. Very good activity. Oh, yikes. That might be pressing. Is that pressing? It's going to be a weak pawn if I can manage to scoot a castle that direction real quick. This is a weak pawn. Just take, because as soon as this knight moves, this pawn falls. But not really. Because it's defended. Only with a knight here would that be true. Got the push. I don't know. What is going on? What is going on with this position? This is about to be extremely attacked. This knight's going to pop in here. This is something. No, black is not done kicking yet. Black is not done kicking yet. I can't even do this combo. This is I think I just go here. Sort of let the chips fall where they may, I guess. I don't know. Take with this? I don't know. Surely not that. That's weird. Mind you, would be well defended. It would be well defended. Feeling like this. Feeling like this and like this. Castle. Can we aim for that? This one first. Move order. Knight's gonna go there and go there. There, 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 there. Look at that, eh? Nice geometry. I think we fall back. I don't know, but that's right in my face. Isn't it? That is right in my face. Get out of my face, man. One thing I think is for sure, unless I use this as a defender, I was going to say, one thing's for sure, his bishop is just so much stronger than mine, I should just trade it immediately. So it's either that or this. I like having this well defended, actually. And regardless, if knight comes, okay, whatever, right? I think that's the way forward. I think that's the way forward. I think that's fair enough. There's no big tricks like this. Just push, we're okay. Probably. I think we should just knight up here, right? Hey, and we even get time to castle in this variation. That's kind of cool. Pawn's defended. Yeah. It'll help. You know, it's a dark square. It's a light square. It'll help for, you know, maintaining some defense on second, as well as preparing maybe some doubled rook action here on the F file. We can push it, maybe lever something open. I don't know. Just spitball. I didn't really consider that. And don't forget, that's a slow rook. I knew there was something else I liked about the position. I forgot about that. Good old slow rook. It's a series out called Slow Horses, Gary Oldman. What an actor, man. That guy does it all. Does it all. Credit where credit's due, especially in the man, did he ever nail that role? Wow. Just wow. Are we worried about the bishop perching out there on h3? Good question. Not really, no. No, we're not, because there's just no way for it's just not an issue. It's welcome there. That's where it wants to be. We're not upset. We're happy to host. We're happy to host the bishop on that square. If queens were off, we'd push our king and make that unavailable, but you know, whatever. It's neither here nor there. So what's this guy doing here? Or do we push? Nope. We do not push. What do we do here? dirty pool? No, not dirty pool. All right, so firstly, let's get this pawn sorted because the idea is here. And what's going to happen next is an amazing thing because we're going to put our knight here. And then when this knight takes, we're going to say check. And then nothing can block it. And so this bishop here. Ooh, he saw that coming. Wow. Wow. How did you see that though? You shouldn't have seen that. That's too much. You can't look that far ahead anymore. It's too far ahead now. Let's take it easy. Let's take it easy out there, guys. Jeepers. So I don't know what now. What's this guy doing here? Testing this, keeping things honest. Do we go here and here? Maybe. I mean, it's something, right? Kind of prepares this, right? Because now this square is tough now. Tough to manage, maybe. And we're okay with this test because we're just going to take, however it takes back, this knight ends up here and everything is all set. These are the kinds of positions where at the end of combination, there's a queen check, winning a knight kind of thing, But yeah, I think White's happy with the position here and not too much to be upset about at all on this position. Especially, I think we're okay. Okay, fair enough. Fighting for the square. Let's continue with the plan. Is that a trapped rook? Almost. Luckily we would have this, but this is getting dicey. Or is there a sack? There might be a sack. I don't know about with this amount of clock, but we could go here. Maybe it's not enough time to look for sacks. Check. Why not, right? Maybe something can develop. You never know. Never know until you try sometimes, Just go back to the defense. We'll be all right. Softened up a bit. At least then we'll have holes or whatever. I don't know, whatever. Targets, whatever. Good question. Is this a loose pawn here? Yes, a3 is a loose pawn. What should I capture with here? Queen or king? Let's go king, right? Let's go king. Do we push? We could. We could push. Come back here. We could do that too. Yeah, why not? Let's test. This pawn is safe. Oftentimes, you gotta watch out, or this pawn can't recapture, right? Pays to be careful out there, guys. Let's push, right? Or knight here. I like this pawn better. This is a good prerogative. Good program. Good attack plan. Yikes. Well done. Well spotted. Very well spotted. Yikes. Let's hope there's no disgusting geometry. Everything looks well defended. Maybe even very well defended, actually, now that I look at it. So the idea is knight forks, but the thing is there's a shot here, check. And it does counterattack the queen, but no worries. Just queen back here, offer the trade, defend the pawn. If queen trades, boom. Not sure that can be defended, but that's a whole lot of material. Might be obliged. Yikes. This is a little bit dicey still, I think. Would we take with the knight or the bishop? Either one, but maybe the bishop just to get in the face. Or pardon me, yeah, with the bishop. Yeah. Knight takes. Yeah. And the thing about the like one of the features of this position is that it's going to be very tough to undermine. This knight from this square. Ooh. It's where you get a little radar sometimes. It's like you see a moving just right away, you know. It can be tough finding it in time crunch, though, to be certain. But yeah. So, except for that cheap shot, let's say, because I almost moved here, I was this close, this close. So, let's say I had moved there. Knight here. Yeah, that makes sense. That's logical. So pawn push? No. Oh, lucky. This is lucky. This is lucky, being able to save this. But costs a pawn. I have an outpost. Knight and rook team up on this pawn. 2 pawns for the piece down a point. Shakes out. If this pawn was in here, I think that would be enough. But with this pawn here, this guy has to go it alone. And with the king, rooks, yeah, I can see how this shakes out into a draw. That makes sense. Aside from this, was there any other winners? Nope. Nope. This was the only winning move. Okay. I felt I still had. That's what I thought you were gonna play, but then I have this beautiful outlook there, beautiful outpost. If this, then this. I think. If this, probably still this. And then this goes here, and this knight, just octopus, manages absolutely everything. That's a win. This is the what I was looking at setting up. And then this rook goes here, so even these rooks get in here. It doesn't really matter because I'll always have lateral defense because of this rook. And when one rook won't be enough, everything is covered. My king marches up, and then we can probably eat that and just push, probably. But all right, I think that's enough streaming for the moment. But thank you all for joining me here today. I didn't quite get back to 2050, but we made some inroads. We got 20 points. I think we won, what, 4 or 5 straight there? I don't know. Doing okay. 3 straight. Okay. 3 straight. All right. 5 in 1. Last 6. It's not bad. Anyway, thank you for joining us today, and watch out for the best squares. Until next time.